Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hafizuddin bin Muhammad Fuad, number matric 2020611-572, and my partner is Muhammad Akmal bin Ngah, number matric 2020891-652, and we are from class RAS 115-3D. We do this experiment for Madam Salamiah binti Zakaria. For the experiment, we chose paper chromatography experiment. For the objective of the experiment, basically, we do this experiment to separate the different substance in the mixture. And then, we do this experiment to separate the different dye in an ink. Next, we move to the procedure of the experiment. The first step, a filter paper was took out and aligned near the bottom of the sheet, or we call it as baseline, was drew by using a pencil. Second, a dot of sample ink was drew on a baseline. Third, a beaker was filled with a shallow amount of the solvent. And fourth, the filter paper was placed into the solvent. We did not submerge the baseline. The lid was placed on the top of the beaker to prevent the evaporating. And fifth, the solvent was waited until it seeped up the paper. Next, once the solvent reached almost the top of the paper, the filter paper was took out and we left it until dry. And lastly, the distance of each spot traveled were measured and RF value was calculated.
Next, I'm going to presenting about the result and discussion. For this paper chromatography experiment, we need to find the RF value. RF, which is mean retardation factor, is the value of the ratio of the distance moved by the solute to the distance moved by the solvent. The formula to find the RF value is dP divided by dW, which is dP is the distance travelled by pigment and dW is the distance travelled by water. So for the calculation, the dW is same, which is 7 cm. So for the yellow pigment, the distance travelled by the yellow pigment is 4 cm. So the RF is 4 divided by 7, which is 0.6. For the red pigment, travel for 6.5 cm. So the RF value will be 6.5 divided by 7, which is 0.9. And the last one, for the purple pigment travel 7 cm, which is the same distance as the water travel. So the RF value will be 7 divided by 7, which is 1. Next, for the discussion part, different pigments have different properties, which is one is heavy, one is light, one is less soluble in water, and one is more soluble in water. So these different properties makes the different colors travel at the different speed. From the result, we can see that the yellow pigment is the less soluble solvent. This is because the yellow pigment is the one who travel the less. This happened because the solvent in yellow pigment has the biggest attraction to the paper. For the red pigment, it is the second most soluble solvent. It is because the solvent of the red pigment has the second smallest attraction to the paper. This is why the red pigment travel more than yellow but less than the purple pigment. Last one, for the purple pigment is the most soluble solvent. It has the smallest attraction to the paper. This can be seen by the purple pigment travel exactly the same distance as the water travel. So that's why the RF value is 1. Conclusion. The objective of the experiment was learn, that is how to separate the different pigments of the ink in the marker.